Now, Chiron in Aries, Neptune in Pisces, and Venus in Gemini are all stationary and therefore exalted. And Chiron begins its yearly 5 months retrograde phase on July 11th. And that's adding an extra layer of vulnerability around our personal wounds and our experience of the masculine, both within and without. So Chiron is exalted, and so definitely we need to take a look at what's wounded, what's insecure, what feels separate in us. Where do we feel like we're so different that we can't connect? Now, we may also have a restless mind and feel impatient, become demanding or hard to please. We tend to feel like we're not enough, that progress is too slow, that we're tired of waiting. Things are just, with Aries, there's a certain amount of speed that comes with the Aries energy, and that we want to feel like we're moving. So we might feel that things are not progressing as fast as we want them to. So ask yourself, am I moving towards or away from exhaustion? What might shift if my masculine doing energy stood in service to my intuitive, receptive feminine? And of course, this is something we've been working on for years now, pretty much since the 2012 shift, We've been focusing so much on the feminine. We've been focusing so much on rebalancing the feminine with the masculine. And so what might shift if my masculine doing energy stood in service to my intuitive, receptive feminine? Now, Venus ended her, talking about feminine, right? Venus ended her retrograde phase on June 25th. And this is a chance to address anything we reassessed over the past 6 weeks around our values, our relationships, including the relationship we have with our mind, our environment. And so what you want to ask yourself here is, what have I learned about my inner dialogue, about communication in general, my ability to learn something new, my curiosity towards others, towards myself? What have I learned about self-love and self-trust? Where might I be ready to apply what I have learned? Now, the good news is that Chiron and Venus make a sextile with each other. And this sextile is in place for about 2 weeks. And it's the very strongest between July 5th and July 14th. So this provides an opportunity for a dialogue around our healing process related to our physical active energies, and also provides an opportunity to heal issues around anger, dominance, sexuality, or gender identity. So healing happens when we're able to embrace our own imperfections and limitations and come to see them as valid. It's not when we're trying to fix it. It's not when we're trying to change it that healing happens. Healing does not happen when we go against it. Healing happens when we're able to embrace all of it. The imperfections, the limitations, how different we are from others, rather than as a proof that something about us is broken or wrong. Healing only happens when we understand that there's nothing broken ever, that there's nothing wrong ever, that doesn't exist, that's just a narrative that we have in our mind because of something that occurred in the past that created a separation or that created a wounding. So it's our inner child that feels that separation, or that feels that brokenness, or that feels that there's something wrong. But actually, by embracing that inner child and by taking care of that inner child, we can actually start to heal. So love is very important, compassion is very important, acceptance is very important, understanding ourselves is very important. So self-compassion, the greater understanding of our wound history, you can also call it your pain body, right? Your wound history or your pain body, helps us embrace ourselves as we are. So we may even start to love ourselves because of our sensitivities, not in spite of them. So ask yourself, have I felt shame when simply being who I am made me seem separate from others? Did being identified with my personal goals or passion and wanting to go after things for myself perhaps cause shame as well? Have I ever felt shame for my relationship to anger? And as you can hear, these questions are all connected to shame because Chiron, that trigger that we have, very often is connected to shame, something we feel ashamed about. And it's because of that inner child wound, because an inner child does feel shame much more strongly than an adult would. And when we feel shame as an adult, it's very often connected to that inner child. So could I simply acknowledge those memories that I have around shame or anger, around, feeling separate from others when I'm trying to be myself? And could an open-minded, curious approach benefit my healing journey? What if a compassionate approach to my inner wounded child not only benefited me, but also helped others? Because remember, this journey that we're on in terms of our own healing journey, or even the collective healing journey, this is not just we're doing for ourselves, we're also doing it for everybody on this planet. Because everything's interconnected. We're not separate. It just feels that way sometimes, like we're separate, but we're not. And so our healing is everybody's healing, and everybody's healing is our healing. So bringing that compassion to ourselves is there's no greater service that you can do to the world right now than to do that. That is the most you can do for this planet right now is really working on that healing for yourself. Now, for those of you who want to have a better understanding of your personal healing journey, feel free to listen to the MP3 recording of my Chiron workshop, Healing with Astrology, if you haven't seen that yet, or if you haven't listened to that yet. It's available to all my members. So if you have a monthly universal membership, you will have access to this recording after 3 months of my membership. But if you have any other level of membership, the yearly universal or the monthly star membership or the yearly star membership, you get access to that right away. So if you have access to it already, then you would want to go to your membership portal where it says My Courses. There's a My Courses tab. And if you click on that, then you should be able to see the Chiron workshop if you already have access to it. If you don't have access to it yet, it will tell you when you will start to have access to it. Now, we will also address the Chiron station and retrograde phases as they relate to our own birth charts during the next forecasting forum on July 12th. So if you need that extra support right now, you do have until July 9th at midnight to sign up for the next forecasting forum with the early bird special. That is available. Please note that we will take a look at the Mercury and Chiron station phases on July 12th. And we will also talk about Mercury's direct motion, because Mercury will end its retrograde phase. And we will talk about the post-shadow phase in Cancer, which will be from July 12th until the 26th. So if you want to know how this is going to impact you personally, join me live, or you can also sign up for the MP4 video presentation if you can't make it that day. And other than booking a reading with me, this is definitely the highest level of support that I offer. And it's only $37 for the 90-minute webinar. Sometimes we even go longer than 90 minutes because I'm also answering questions for people. So it's really a fantastic way to connect with me. And with the early bird special, it only comes to $32. Now, if you like to join live, please keep in mind that registration will close an hour before the live event begins. And if you register after 10:30 a.m. on July 12th, you will receive an MP4 video presentation of the webinar. Now, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate all of you. If you have any questions about any membership functions, if you have any questions about the monthly forecasting forums, about the soul-based astrology courses, about astrology in general, then please don't hesitate to reach out to me at info@astrologercoach.com. Any personal questions, please ask them during the monthly forecasting forum on July 12th, or you can also book a one-on-one reading with me at any point. There are lots of different options available for that, so feel free to look at that on my website. All right, much love to all of you. Namaste. Have a good one. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay safe, stay healthy. Much love.